Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 30 and today we are starting things off in the Nether Hub with a whole bunch of gear. As you guys know, in the previous episode of Hermitcraft, we did a little bit of end busting with Mr. Iskall. Now I'm currently in the process of rendering out that video. I have been for the past 3 hours. It's a fairly monstrous episode of Hermitcraft. But as you can see, we did a spectacularly good job. I mean, I have 8 elytras. I've never had 8 elytras in my entire life. Obviously, I've got the 7 in my chest, and then I've got the 1 that I'm currently wearing. I mean, that is totally ridiculous. And a bunch of swords, and a bunch of shovels, some armor, and things like that. I mean, what a crazy setup we have right here. And that was all in a relatively kind of short space of time, and it would have been shorter if Iskall didn't stop dying. He's a total noob, isn't he? Anyway, we're going to head over to the base, and we're going to start work on some serious projects. So as you guys know, in the episode before last, we started work on the mega storage system. So we have got all of the chests, we've got all of the hoppers, we have a lot of the redstone in place, and we have some of the circuitry down underneath as well. We're probably about halfway through. So I think in today's episode, the first thing that I want to do is try my best to get all of this stuff completed so that we have a fully functioning storage system. Now, I am going to have to relearn all of this circuitry right here, but other than that, I don't know, I feel like it shouldn't take too long. Those are some famous last words right there, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the first challenge here is that this entire area seems to be fully filled in with mobs. I didn't do the best of jobs at lighting this place up. Ugh, get out of here. One full line of redstone logic circuits all in place. We've got the pulse extenders, the redstone clocks, the things that go into the dropovators. So this area right here should just be the final one. And I have to say, I don't mean to blow my own trumpet here, okay, but I've got pretty speedy at doing these modules. I mean, I can fly through, barely ever making any mistakes, and trying our best not to get hit by loads of skeletons and mobs. Ugh. It's always quite difficult to tell. It is always quite hard to tell, but I'm starting to think that maybe we might have a slime chunk round here somewhere. Nah, probably not. I think that should just about do it. Now, some of these things have got items on the inside, which means that currently the circuits should be running, and how have I done that? Seriously, how do I even do that in my brain? Right, that's a little bit more like it. We actually filled in the one that was missing, and that should be now one full set of redstone. I guess that kind of gap right there between the two modules sort of messed with my head. But there we go. We now have the full redstone circuit. Let's just quickly remove this item right here. That should turn off that redstone clock. That is it. That is all of the logic circuitry done underneath these things. So that's all of the timings. It makes sure that these dropovators stay activated for long enough for the item to go from the bottom all the way up to the top. Brilliant, fantastic, excellent. Okay, now we just need to link up all of the dropovators using a bunch of redstone torches. And this is it. This is the circuit that we're going to be building. We're currently over at Tango Tech's base. He has just recently built this thing right here, which is absolutely awesome. I think this thing looks fantastic. I like it's such a unique style of building, Tango's. I don't know how he does it, but he pulls it off nicely. But this is the circuit, super simple, just a redstone torch tower. I build these things in my sleep. Should be able to do this with my eyes closed and my ears closed and my mouth closed. Maybe not the mouth closed, that'd be a really bad video. Things are going pretty well in the torch placing department. I have used a heck ton of torches. That is the one thing that I've done, and I am starting to realise that maybe there is a chance that I have way too many chests for the things that I'm actually going to be storing. That could also be a thing that has happened, but we are probably about halfway done when it comes to these redstone torches, and the redstone torch towers, as far as I can tell, I am going to have to triple check Tango's design, but as far as I can tell, they are the final stage of the building process, which means that we've actually managed to get this thing built. And this is no small sorting system. I mean, this thing's enormous. The biggest sorting system I've ever built. We've managed to get it done in record time. This is the final torch tower. Now, this one's a little bit different from the other ones because, of course, it's only a single dropovator, which means that actually it's just a tiny bit simpler. But there we go. That should do the trick, and then the final redstone torch goes there. That should do the trick as well. Things are looking good. things are looking finished. One gigantic, enormous storage system, all fully redstoned up. Wow. Okay. Let's try not to jump into that lava there. I almost did. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I genuinely didn't think I was going to complete this so quickly. Okay, let's pop inside here. And now we actually have to start working out where everything is going to be going. And where the certain rooms are actually going to be. Now, this is going to be a bit of a tricky thing. I'm going to have to open up our other world that we've planned all of this out in, and then I'm going to just try my best to lay out the foundations so that we know where we're actually going with this thing, and so that we know the dimensions. This needs redstone, and I have no clue how to connect it. We'll worry about that later on. I think. Now, one thing that I've seen down in the comment section quite often is that I should use the Schematica mod when building this thing. Now, I didn't actually know what the Schematica mod was, so I had to do a little bit of research here, and I have to say, it sounds fantastic. I can't believe I haven't heard of this before. But what you do is you load a schematic into the mod. So I'd take a schematic of this build right here. So I'd like select this entire area, save it as a schematic, I'd then load it into Schematica, and I would place that schematic on the Hermitcraft server. So I'd log in, and I'd place it using the mod as a template. So it wouldn't actually place any blocks. No blocks would be placed. It would place like a ghost image. A ghost area of all of these blocks right here, just in where I want to build this thing. So it would fit perfectly inside the area. Obviously, we have all of that templated out, and it would be placed in as a ghost image, and I would be able to build it, recreate it block for block, without having to go back and forth between the worlds and keep like referencing everything that I've built in this one. Now, I have to say that sounds really, really interesting, and probably something that I am going to make use of here and there when doing this storage system. The only issue is that right now it has not been updated to Minecraft 1.12, which means unfortunately I can't use it at this point in time. But thank you ever so much for the suggestions, because that is really going to help me out. But aside from that, I've also been doing some counting, and this is going to make up the second half of today's Hermitcraft episode. This thing's going to need a lot of resources. In fact, it is going to need about 250 stone, about 200 andesite, about 250 grass, about 150 cobble, 700 oak planks, 200 spruce planks, 150 acacia planks, 250 oak wood, 150 spruce, 200 leaves, 400 bits of wool in various different colours, 700 stone slabs, 300 cobblestone slabs, 200 oak fences, about 500 stone bricks, 200 nether bricks, 35 blocks of redstone, 150 acacia blocks, 200 red sandstone, 300 piles, 600 terracottas, and concretes. Lots and lots of blocks. We need to get the resources for those blocks. So that's what we're going to be doing. So here is the super storage supplies chests area right here. And so far I have ticked 3 of the things off the list: stone, andesite, and cobble. Relatively easy things to get a hold of, but as you know, the list is extensive, so I'm going to have to go out on quite a few adventures here. Things are going pretty well so far. I have actually managed to gather up a decent amount of stuff. We need, well, number one is we need some grass, which I know that I've got loads of grass there, so we need 226 of that, which is around about 4 stacks here and there. So we can tick that one off the list. That one's done. Okay, the next one is leaves. There's a bunch of leaves in this chest here, and we need 200 of that. So once again, around about 4 stacks of the stuff should probably do the trick. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, we do have some equipment here and there, which is helping us out, but we are going to have to gather up like a huge quantity of the stuff here. I actually don't think we're going to be able to do all of this in today's Hermitcraft episode. You know, I've just been thinking, it has been ages since I've just gone out resource gathering. How strange is that? I mean, this server feels quite new, and I almost miss the early days of the server already. Like the first 10 episodes where you actually had to go out and gather up the things that you were going to be using. Huh. We've made decent progress on the collection of items, but I have noticed that a large number of them are wood related. I mean, we have lots of different oak, spruce, acacia, and everything like that. So I thought, for the second time ever, and for the second time in this Hermitcraft season, we could do a real quick 1 hour wood farming session, trying our best to get all 700 oak planks, all 200 spruce planks, 150 acacia planks, all the different oak, spruce and acacia that we need in actual log form, and we'll see if we can just bust all of that out within the hour. Who knows? So in today's time-lapse chat, I want to talk to you about time management, organization, and keeping myself busy. Now, this is kind of spurred on by Wednesday's episode of Hermitcraft, where I recorded Wednesday's episode of Hermitcraft on Wednesday, and it was an organizational nightmare, it was a time management nightmare, and it was completely crazy for someone like me, who really is quite focused on trying to stay on top of things. And it was great fun. I really, really enjoyed doing it, and it was so fun me telling you what was going on, because I could have just recorded a normal episode of Hermitcraft, not mentioned it, and then posted it out. And maybe some of you might have noticed that I seemed a little bit rushed, but I thought it would be so much funnier for me to be like, dudes, we've only got 8 hours. We're just going to see how much we can do. Let's do this. And just crack on with it. And I think you guys enjoyed it as well. Thank you ever so much for the really, really positive response to that video. And I thought I'd discuss my theories on those 3 things in today's Hermitcraft episode. So number 1 is time management. Now, time management is something that I personally focus on, just because now that I've been doing this YouTube thing for a while, I've started to learn how long certain things take. So that means that I can manage my time fairly effectively, know roughly when I'm going to be going home, and I don't often get behind. However, it has been happening more lately because videos have been taking longer because I've been wanting to put more time into them. But basically, I think to myself, oh, you know, I've got to record a Hermitcraft episode tomorrow, so that's going to be maybe about 10 hours, and then I've got a little bit of editing to do, so then maybe that's a couple hours, and then I've got to build a redstone contraption, so maybe I can start that. That'll be like an hour or so, and then the next day I can do like the next couple hours in the morning when I'm tired, and then I can record the redstone video. That'll be a couple hours, and then I'll start off the Hermitcraft episodes. That'll be 5 or 6 hours, and I basically schedule in my timetable like that, and I work that in my head. And obviously things change throughout the week. Maybe I get behind on some things, maybe some things take less time than expected, so then I move things forward and around. But time management is like the most important thing for a YouTuber like me, because otherwise you're all over the place and you're disorganized. And organization is honestly one of the most important skills that I've had to teach myself, because I'm very disorganized by default, and I force myself to organize myself by having the notebook. So I write down everything that I'm going to be doing in the notebook, and it sits right in front of me. It's right here now. Look, you can hear it. There it is. And that's just telling me what I'm going to do in every episode, every redstone video, everything. And then the final thing is keeping myself busy and focused, because I used to just go from making YouTube videos to watching Netflix to watching YouTube to coming back to watching YouTube videos, and then maybe I'll chill out for a little bit, go outside, sit in the garden. And that just leads to a really unfocused way of working, because everything that you do in the periods where you're working, you're still kind of in an unfocused zone, and it takes you a while to get into the zone, then you come out the zone, and it just means that everything takes longer. So recently, or in the past year or so, I've been trying my best to just focus on creating things in one kind of sitting, or at least like a handful of sittings that aren't too broken up, which means that I am able to do so much more with my time because I work a lot more efficiently, and it's just been invaluable, and hopefully you have seen that in the quality of my content over the past year. I feel like it's really improved. So there we go. That is my tiny little speech. I hope you enjoyed it. I might have rambled on for too long. Let's get back onto the Hermitcraft server. And there we go, we have managed to do it. After a slightly shaky night, as you guys probably saw, I made good use of my bow during that. I swear I've become a lot better at using the bow. I never used to carry one of these things just because, even if I had it, I was dreadful with it. I couldn't shoot a thing. Now, watch this, look, slime. He's gonna come around the corner any second. Okay, I can't really show off my marksmanship when I don't really have too much of a target, but you guys get the idea. I'm actually not too bad at firing at the arrows now. I mean, look. I don't miss. I'm like a oh, I missed there, but I'm like a master marksman. Anyway, as you can see, we have got spruce. We have got the spruce planks. And in fact, there was actually a few extra spruce planks that we can put in there. And there is all the wood that we have managed to get as well. So that is a decent quantity, and it took exactly 1 hour to get, which is fantastic. And the good news is that surprisingly enough, we do seem to be... well, we seem to be quite close to end. The one thing that I'm kind of having a bit of a problem with is wool. Obviously, we need 400 wool blocks, which is no small quantity. So... what's going on in here? Python, you have a bit of a strange... I mean, that's useful. I might have to come by and pick up some of those guys because I need some villagers myself. But you do have a bit of a dying problem. Now, I have managed to get about 3 stacks of string from this thing right here. But it is a tiny bit on the slow side in terms of the spiders. The zombies do fine, but the spiders are a little bit slower. So I think I'm going to leave this one behind because obviously we're going to need about 6 or 7 stacks of wool. And if I were to do it like that, I'd be there all day. So I'm going to ask the hermits if there are any other string farms on the server. If not, I guess we'll have to build one. Now this build is also going to involve quite a bit of terracotta, which means that we have got a very long way to go. We need to head towards minus 4,800 by 3,600. And that is the local Mesa biome, which should allow us to get plenty of hardened clay ready to create this stuff. But what on earth is that? Huh, that's really cool. Right, we should be coming in around about now. Yes, okay, that's good. Now, the thing that we're going for here is obviously regular hardened clay. We don't want any of the... This is so reminiscent of Hermitcraft Series 4. I suddenly just got a pang of nostalgia coming up to this thing. Oh, how strange is that? I can remember it like it was yesterday. I suppose it was only like a couple months ago. Anyway, we are looking for regular hardened clay here because obviously we want to be able to dye this stuff so that we can get different types of terracotta. And by the look of things, I have found the sweet spot. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to crack on with this. I'm going to fill up my inventory with the stuff, or at least I'm going to go until this pickaxe gets low on durability, and then I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Now, me and Iskall were talking about this in the previous episode of Hermitcraft, but elytra and fireworks, that combination right there is probably one of the... What on earth is that thing? This looks cool. Just out here in the middle of nowhere. We are miles away from anything. Is that a... I don't even know what that is. I'm sure at least one of you will know whose base I'm currently at, because honestly, I can't suss it out. But anyway, I was saying to Iskall just how much of an incredible addition to the game elytra and fireworks are. I mean, the fact that I can travel 10,000 blocks without being worried about it is just the best thing ever. I mean, I could do this all day long. And we're back to the base. So we have got ourselves pretty much a full inventory's worth of our terracotta right here. Why is it called terracotta? Is it always called terracotta? Or is it not hardened clay? I mean, I thought that was always called hardened clay since... I don't know if that's a bug or not, but anyway, I'm going to put that inside the super storage for the super storage system that we're constructing over here. And I'd say that, I mean, we've made some pretty big progress right there. We have got pretty much everything bar the wool to do this entire build. So I think on that note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head off over to my little dirt hut and I'm going to get myself set up with some form of AFK fishing session. That is, if I can actually remember where I put the AFK fishing rod. Oh, part of me's telling me it's back over at the Ocean Monument. Yep, that's the one that I'm looking for. I really need to just put that in the AFK fish farm and leave it there. I think that would be considerably smarter. Anyway, let's get to this. Fingers crossed for mending. And we're back, and I can hear some zombies. I mean, clearly we have been AFK next to the iron farm, so that is definitely bound to happen. But let's take a look inside this chest right here. So, straight away, okay. By the look of things... Okay, we have filled up all of the chests. So, we had some pretty beastly books in there. We finally got Feather Falling 4, but mending is what we are looking for. That was a really crazy book there. Jeez. Okay. Wow, okay, we've got a lot of books. Infinity, that's a handy one to have, but it's not mending. Oh, come on, please. Just a bit of mending. Looting 3, very nice, but it's not mending. Oh. No. I don't think we have it. Power 3, looting... Yes! Mending! Yes! Mending! Again! Oh, brilliant! Okay, 2 mending books. Oh, fantastic! And that, my friends, is that. I'm not seeing any more. Oh, okay, there's one more chest. Hang on. Oh, that's a pretty beastly book as well. Mending, yes! Okay, fantastic, brilliant. Okay, so we have managed to get ourselves, what, 3 or 4 mending books? That's good going, and a bunch of other enchantments. I'm very, very happy with that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.